Three former Calypso Monarchs among those who made it to this year's finals. Dominica receives its first cruise ship call since Hurricane Maria, and Alec Athena's top scores in the ICC World Cup. Hamidona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Details of these and other stories coming up.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners. Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. First up, former Monarchs Dice, Tasha P and Scrunter are through to the finals of the 2018 Calypso competition. Andrea Louis has that story.
The 9 Calypsonians who got the judges' nod to move forward to the final leg of competition were first timer to the finals, Chris Sylvester, Chris B, with his song Dominica Still Nice.
We are lazy people like lice, rodents such as rats and mice, but the country still nice, mommy. Boy, boy, pretty people eating twice, while some others can get a size, but the country still nice, baby. Boy, boy, big man buying whiskey and ice, poor man buying nanny and spice, but the country still nice, baby. Boy, boy, you know Dominica grow no rice, but we have other foods to suffice, but the country still Dominica.
Sole female Calypso Monarch Tasha Peltier, Tasha P, former 3-time Monarch Andrew Basil Descrunter, Trinidadian Stefan Subero, going by the stage name Stefan, veteran Calypsonian Emmanuel Salamat Dihexi, whose last showing in the finals was 18 years ago, was successful with his song Saki Sao Se Sao.
Saki Sao Se Sao, Dominica de Pujula, one big family, branches on a sweet mango tree. Oh, yo, it's time to reason. We can never do it alone. Dominica is our own. Charity begins at home. Some of us, we too damn lazy. We prefer to borrow first. Some of us, we too damn greedy. Never put a penny in a poor man's purse.
Second timer to the finals, Jude Deloney, JD, seasoned finalist Daryl Bob, De Bob, experienced Calypsonian Murphy John Jules, Sai, and former 8-time Monarch Denison Joseph, Dice. The grand finals of the 2018 Calypso competition is scheduled for Saturday, 10th February at the Newtown Savannah. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
Dominica received its first major cruise call on Sunday. Here's Andrea Louis with that story.
Though a wet and rainy day, it was still a scene of celebration on the Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard as tourism stakeholders gathered to welcome German ship Mein Schiff 3 of TUI Cruises, which made its first stop to Dominica for the 2017-2018 cruise season. This is the first official major cruise call to Dominica since the passage of Hurricane Maria. In October last year, the Ministry of Tourism declared that Dominica will be ready for cruise business by January 2018, and the ministry was true to its word. Minister for Tourism Robert Tong said a lot of work went into making sure Dominica could welcome cruise visitors this month.
It sends a signal that Dominica is ready for tourism, both stayover and cruise. It means that with more ships having the confidence to come here, it means more persons can begin to earn an income as a result of tourism. Over 3,000 people are directly employed by the tourism sector, so you can well imagine how many people have not earned income. A lot of work has been done in order to make this a reality, making sure the sites are okay, the reception centers are okay, the trails to the sites are okay, even the roads, as much as possible as we could do to get to the sites are okay, cleaning up the city. So a ton of work has gone into that. A couple $1 million has been spent in terms of even just the sites to get them ready and to clean the city.
In December last year, a smaller ship, Sea Cloud 2, docked in Portsmouth, and Tong says the feedback given by tourists on that ship helped in preparations for Mine Ship 3.
The smaller ships that came into Portsmouth definitely gave us an indication of some of the things that we had to do. I think the biggest issue had to do with the cleanliness of the areas, but it's a challenge because you clean and then people put back out garbage. You clean and then people put back out garbage. So that is always a challenge. So the important thing is to listen closely to all of the comments from the visitors, to also look around with a critical eye and try to address those issues as quickly as possible.
Mine Ship 3 has a passenger capacity of over 2,000 and is captained by Tobias Peach, who said it was an honor to be the first major cruise call to Dominica since the storm.
Thanks as well for the honor to be the first cruise or the big cruise ship coming here to Dominica and introduce a series of cruise ship again. Hopefully we'll call you in the future back again, and as well for the warm welcome we had this morning, starting with the pilot. Everything worked smooth. And he told us as well that your guys working up to this morning to prepare the pier and everything for us ready to dock. And I have to say it worked everything perfectly fine. We're completely satisfied and happy to be here. And I hope and I'm really sure that our guests will appreciate this and will be happy as well to visit your nature island. And I think they will keep Dominica in good memories. And I'm looking already forward for the next call in 14 days here.
The captain was also presented with a plaque as a mark of the country's appreciation for being the first major cruise ship to dock post-Hurricane Maria. Channel 5 News also spoke to various tourism stakeholders on the Rosa Bay front who were present for the occasion.
Of course, we are indeed excited and we're happy to have our first cruise ship here today. All of us have been out of work since April. In mid-April, the season ended. And we were looking forward to a full season because from what we saw from the schedule, we were going to have a packed season. And we could not prevent Maria. However, we're looking ahead and we're hoping, based on the number of ships we have to call in for the rest of the season, the tour guides would be able to benefit in whatever way possible. Because as you know, we all have our families, we all suffered loss during the hurricane, and we just hope that whatever it is, that we will make the best of it.
I must say that we are very happy, we are very elated to have a cruise ship in port today, 28th of January 2018. On the 19th of September, no one probably would have thought that we probably would have a cruise ship in port that fast, that quick. But the Almighty Father, He does His work, and He does His work in a mysterious way. And with the people of Dominica, the government and the people of Dominica, those who work pretty hard, went through all the night last night, putting things together. For the past 2 weeks, we saw the Port Authority and everybody else who had to pull their weight, and then we happy to have this cruise ship TUI from I think it's a German cruise line in port today.
Oh, we are all excited. We are overwhelmed. We are so excited because so long we know nothing is coming in and we all at home and stuff. So we are excited about the cruise ship and the tourists.
And what sort of preparation went into getting yourselves ready for today?
Well, we had to come in earlier on yesterday. We had to come in to put the tarpaulins on the stall, put the plywood so that we can put our tablecloth and display our stuff for the tourists.
And when you woke up on the morning of 19th September, did you ever think Dominica could welcome back a cruise ship in 4 months' time?
Oh my God, never. I don't think none of us here would never believe that we would be here today selling for tourists.
Well, it's a welcome opportunity because we are regular every year, and of course there has been loss of income For some guys, there are one or two guys that have another job, but some of the guys in the band, Phase 5 of us, a couple of the guys, that's what they depend on, they are solely musicians. So with the absence of any cruise ships coming in, of course you could imagine what it's income like for them. So we welcome that and we trust that things go well throughout the season. Last year we had a very good season. And we're called upon many times to play with other bands like Bob and so on, other cultural groups and so, but we have been a staple, so we're happy that things are moving back on stream.
Approximately 45 cruise calls are expected in Dominica for the remainder of the 2017-2018 cruise season. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
Dominica's Minister for Tourism has hailed the country's first ever Carnival Street Festival a success.
The official opening of Mas Dominique 2018 took on a different format this year as the entire calendar of events had to be modified as a result of Hurricane Maria. A street festival on the Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard replaced the regular road parade and ceremony which would normally mark the opening of Carnival. The tourism minister said last Friday's street festival was a success and the focus for Mas Dominique this year is on getting Dominicans living overseas to return home.
The opening ceremony was a great one. If you remember seeing the images, it was a huge success. I actually thought it was Creole Festival based on the number of people. But again, the whole idea was just to encourage people to have some fun, to see our culture and to remind our diaspora, our Dominicans living abroad to come back and assist, come back and help your families, come back and see where Dominica's gotten and give your family that moral support. So the focus this year is really to bring our diasporans back into Dominica and to help your families, but more importantly to give them that moral support, because when you have a friend who's here with you who can help you, it makes a massive difference. The promotions have been done directly and through like the embassies, through the various groups. Again, still trying to contain our cost.
In other news, the consensus from residents of Sene Bagatelle does not reflect that they are in favor of being relocated. Prime Minister Skerrit reminded the public during a press briefing at the Office of Disaster Management leading up to Hurricane Maria that it was unsafe to live beyond the river crossing in Bagatelle. The justification is that Tropical Storm Erika exposed its vulnerability, an area which was deemed unsuitable for habitation since a 1977 landslide caused by heavy rains swept away houses there and killed 13 people. But the majority of residents at Sene Bagatelle see it differently.
To me, I would like to live here and go anywhere. I feel safe here.
Although Francis pointed out the possibility of landslides happening higher in the community, like in the case of Tropical Storm Erika, she maintains where she lives in Sene is safe.
I have no problem with living here. I like here.
This 74-year-old woman says residents were advised under Dame Eugenia Charles's Freedom Party administration that they would be relocated.
To take out us from there to bring us in the other side down there, but we didn't get place. And we still stayed there. After the disaster, we don't go nowhere. We was frightened. I see all the death and so on, and we come back up to no idea.
She's the only resident among those we spoke with who did not mind the idea of moving.
The government giving us a place to stay, I will come out, but if you don't give us, I have to stay there. So my house is a wooden house, because it's the government that put that toilet for me.
Which government?
That government.
Okay.
2013, I get that toilet. And I had put my name there to repair the house. So if he agreed to take us there and put us in another place, I will go.
You wouldn't mind moving?
I don't mind moving.
One other resident, Yulin Francis, had this to say on questions about the vulnerability of where she lives.
No danger.
In related news, chairperson of the Bagatelle Village Council, Angela Martin, says the issue requiring urgent attention for residents is access to and from Sene. Martin says the real problem for Sene residents is road access, which they have been facing since Tropical Storm Erika after the road was eroded by the river.
It is just that, well, we are on a ridge and we are between, let us say, two rivers, so to speak. So every time it rains, naturally we cannot go across. But that does not mean that the rivers are such a great threat. The thing is, every time it rains, we have a problem going across the river. You understand? We have a problem going across because the children who live in the area, they have to walk through the river. So the high school children have to take off their socks and so on, and every time, you know. So that is the only problem we have. Once you see we get a bridge, a proper crossing, that is what we need. A proper crossing, and then we'll be okay.
Martin says the concern over Sene being a risky area to live is not that serious.
When we really look at it, I don't think there is such a great risk where we are living. And if you look at, let us say, because of Hurricane Maria, everywhere in Dominica is at risk. I lost my mother in the disaster. I too was covered under the slide. And can you imagine, I still want to live there. So that's to show you, well, it is not, I don't see it as a threat.
She also suggests the options for a suitable site could be hard to find.
It is true that the government wants to, see the threat and wants to help, people. I don't have a problem with that at all, which is good, But at the same time, people have to be consulted. But he promised to consult us anyway. When you speak to the people in the area, they do not see it as a problem and they do not want to move. That is the thing. You understand? So, and as I said, moving from where to where, that is the big question. If the Prime Minister think of, let us say, relocating us to where? Because a number of areas now in Dominica presently needs relocation.
The Kulibistri Community Development Committee has been revamped with a mandate to voice the community's grievances.
Top among these grievances is the impact of flooding in the village following Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria. Residents say their concerns are many, including talk of relocation and the lack of basic services 4 months after Hurricane Maria. The main aim of the new committee is to enhance and rehabilitate Kulibistri through community-based projects and social outreach programs.
The objectives of the group are to provide opportunities and forums for the community to voice concerns, to solicit financial assistance and aid for community development, to promote and coordinate public interactions for the social well-being of individuals.
The committee has also selected prominent members of the community to sit on an advisory council to assist with some of their difficult decisions. Using the results of a topographic survey, residents have been given some insight into the origins of the rivers which continue to threaten their lives and property.
That's Kulibistri there, so we're checking out the river. All right, and so we're going up. And mark you, this is mudslides, and probably Pastor Philip House is somewhere there. And so we're going up the river. Now when we reach here, we notice that the river breaks into 3 different paths, or it sprouts in 3 different directions. It's a fork in the road, so to speak. Now I'm going to take this trail to go up a bit so we can see what is up there. Notice this is segment 10. How many persons know where segment 10 is? Where is segment 10 is located? Syndicates is where segment 10 is located. And this little gap you see here, that's a cloud that cannot show. But when you look at another map, you will see that this river is actually on Mont Diablo 10. So we have a river, this river is linked from all the way Mont Diablo 10 coming down here into this river in Kulibistri. So just imagine the amount of water we have coming out there. So it's a really big issue that we have here.
The group plans on launching a Facebook page as part of its outreach activities.
In more news, Parliamentary Representative for Kulibistri, Hector John, fully supports the efforts of the young people of that flood-ravaged village to form a community development committee.
John says he wants to ensure that the people of Kulibistri are involved in any discussions or decisions taken by government regarding their relocation.
We should work together to ensure that we clean up Kulibistri, and if the authorities want to take decisions, that we are part of the decision-making process. You don't have to be left out. They cannot come and say, do this and do that. But they should come to Kulibistri and have a discussion with you. And that's what I've been asking. Allow the people, if you come there the first day, allow the people to vent. Allow them to speak their mind. And then come back and let's sit down and have a discussion about going forward. And going forward should be everybody on board. I am the member of parliament. I can make representation. I cannot go and take action. I can only make representation on their behalf. But at the end of the day, the government controls the purse, but you are the people who have to demand what you want for yourselves. Your protection, you might want river wall. You might say, no, river is going to be too expensive. You might have to move. Where to? Are you going to pay me for my property? There's a lot of questions that have to be answered, and nobody's coming to meet you.
The new development committee plans to officially invite government to meet with them over the issues that affect them.
The discussion should be, how are we going to protect lives and properties in Kulbistri? All the people of Kulbistri are going to sit down, sleep in their bed when it's raining and not to think of running. That is what we need to do, and that is why it's important, and that's why I give support, and I want to commend the people of Kulbistri for coming together and forming that committee. And I want to encourage, you're going to have challenges, you're going to have hiccups. People are going to say, I'm not in it. But you have to continue to work together and bring people in.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Sports is next.
First up in sports, as of Sunday's game, Alec Atanaz was the leading run scorer in the ICC Under-19 World Cup when he scored an undefeated century against Sri Lanka on Sunday. Kenny Williams has details.
Scoring a whopping 417 runs in the tournament, the Dominican had 98 runs between him and second place, who was West Indies' Keegan Simmons at 319. Meantime, in Sunday's game, West Indies was sent into bat and scored 254 for the loss of 5 wickets. Atanaz contributed a well-deserved 110 not out, while the closest score from a Windies batsman was Brad Barnes' 37 not out. Set 255 to win, Sri Lanka equaled the target with 3 wickets to spare. Hasitha Boyagoda was the top run scorer in that match with 116, while D. Lakshan assisted with 98. Sri Lanka won that match by 3 wickets with 2 balls remaining.
In more sports, notoriously fast in Dominica and competitively so in Jamaica, Danielson Mahote recently broke a 21-year-old record in the men's under-20 200-meter event. Here's more.
Previously set by Sherwin James in 1997 in a time of 21.9 seconds, Mahote crossed the finish line third out of 152 athletes overall in a national record-breaking time of 21.4 seconds at the Queen's Grace Jackson meet on Sunday. Speaking with Channel 5 Sports, the national sprinter says he is pleased with his performance so far and is looking forward to do greater things in the future.
I'm happy to have run the 200 meters and a very good season opener. I felt great during the race. I had a very good start, ran a very hard 150 and get up the bend very good. So very proud to get that good result in early in the season. My goals for this season is to remain injury free and keep improving as time goes on. I want to win some of the major competitions, but I just want to take my time and take things one step at a time.
Meantime, Mahote ran a personal best of 6.77 seconds in the 60-meter dash and placed second overall. Another notable performance for the year was his first track meet of the season, winning convincingly in a time of 10.92 seconds in the 100-meter race. Mahote's next assignment will be the Curfta Games in Bahamas, which is scheduled to run from March 30 to April 2.
And as of July 1, Cricket West Indies will offer 3 sets of contracts for test and limited overs players. Kenny Williams explains.
Players will be given all format contracts, red ball contracts and white ball contracts. Only 5 players, Jason Holder, Shannon Gabriel, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, Devendra Bishu, have been contracted for all formats, while 6 have been given red ball contracts and 5 white ball contracts. This new measure came as a result of an increasing number of players opting out of the national team in favor of T20 tournaments. Evidence of that was Kieron Pollard, Sunil Narain, Andre Russell and Darren Bravo's recent decision to skip the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe to play the Pakistan Super League. Under the new arrangement, a maximum of 11 all-format contracts can be awarded. For red and white ball contracts, the aggregate can go up to 11, and the total number of contracts is capped at 18. 4 new development contracts can also be offered to players in the red and white ball categories. These contracts cater to those players yet to establish themselves in the 11, but who are likely to be selected in the year ahead. The process of selecting players was completed last July, ahead of the issue of domestic contracts to the 90 regional professional cricketers on August 1. While the national men's team is officially on contract till September 2018, the new retainers will be issued to both national and regional players on July 1 to ensure all professional cricketers start their new contracts on the same date.
And finally in sports, there were 4 wins and 1 draw in the DFA Flow Nations Cup on the weekend. Once again, here's Kenny Williams.
Darren James registered a hat-trick for RC Doctors to help give them a 6-1 win over Kalinago Football Club at Laplane Playing Field. Calvin Christopher netted 2 and Leon John Baptist 1 to complete the onslaught. The unchallenger scored the lone goal for Kalinago. Sagico Southeast had total dominance in their game against Ellie Stars to take the game 4-0 at Laplane Playing Field. Jocelyn Prince, Sidney Lockhart, Javid and Kevin George scored for Southeast. Newcomers We United and Belfast Estate Maosoka Strikers had a close finish, but in the end, We United emerged victorious with a 3-2 win at Cassibruce Playing Field. Skerrit Northeast failed to show up for their match against Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers at Benjamin's Park, giving the home team easy points. In the clash, of former champion Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin Football Club had total dominance with a 2-0 win against the competitive Exodus Football Club at Benjamin's Park. Travis Joseph and Shokel St. Marie netted for Dublin. Finally, Boston Warner and East Central played to a 1-1 draw at Cassibruce Playing Field. Franklin Pierce scored for Boston, while Richard Newton netted for East Central.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001-275-5003 today.
To end the news, the headlines again. 3 Calypso Monarchs among those who made it to this year's finals. Dominica receives its first major cruise call since Hurricane Maria, and Alec Athena's top scores in the ICC World Cup. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our newscasts on YouTube and tdnentertainment.net. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona John Baptist. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.